of the plot, hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Late Keisha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Late Keisha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop.
Hey, guys. I told you all that I was working on getting a police report and I have it. Thank everybody who's watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Kick, and also Twitch. So wherever you guys are watching from, thank you for being here. Now we have been talking about I have to use this word, unaliving, y'all. We on YouTube, so we got to, kind of say different words. So we're talking about, T Hood, Telvin Hood, which I come to learn is his government name. He was unalived at the home that I guess I want to say allegedly that he shared with Kelsey, because it's been said that he stayed there and then it's been said that he didn't stay there. But I believe, like, maybe in a girlfriend boyfriend situation, he probably stayed over there a lot, but he didn't maybe add that as his official residence. So I told y'all it was a lot of stuff out there and I was getting the report. Well, I have the report right here. I actually printed it off because it's better for me to read. But before I get into it, I want to give y'all some different information that I received today, which kind of makes a lot of sense. So I received some information from somebody today, and this is what they told me, that Kai and T Hood had gotten into a fight. So they were fighting. Now, this is just something that somebody sent me. So this is somebody that knows them and stated that, I keep wanting to say Kelsey, but it's Kai. Kai and T Hood had gotten into a physical altercation. They were fighting. Kelsey, now I have to say alleged because this is something that somebody else is telling me. Now, Kelsey was trying to break up the fight, but she couldn't. Imagine two men fighting. I mean, it's going to be hard. So she could not break it up. Kelsey did not want to call the police because of their celebrity status. I ain't a celebrity and I don't want to call the police either. So this person told me that she did not want to call the police. So she did call the other brother to come over, not to do anything to T Hood, but to help break up the fight, like they're fighting. And I'm gonna just say this, judging from the mannerisms of Kirk, this other son, he don't give me that vibe that he's, Kirk is not a fighter. You can kind of tell everybody is not a fighter. So Kelsey allegedly called the brother to help break up this situation that was going on with T Hood and her brother, her little brother. Now, get this. Now, they said, this person told me that the other brother came, but not on anything. Like he didn't come there to, jump on T Hood. He came to stop Kai and T Hood from fighting. Now, this is what the person said. Now, like I said, this is alleged. I have not read the police report yet. I'm just telling y'all what somebody reached out to me and said. They said after the brother came, somehow Kai, I'm going to read exactly what they said. After the stepbrother arrived, Kai gained some balls and pulled out he started bucking. So that's what they said. He started, shooting, and he grazed the brother. So this person is telling me Kai was just shooting the thing. He accidentally shot his own brother. Okay. So he hit his own brother in the ankle or something like that. This person is saying. Um, I guess somehow, I don't know if Kai ran, but it looks like maybe he took off running. I don't know. This is what it's alluding to, what they're telling me. And then the other brother, who was popped by his own brother, tried to catch him. Somehow he couldn't catch him. So the other brother came back. Now, this person says that, so this property that they're saying that this happened at, this is a property that Rasheeda and Kirk own. Okay, this is what they're saying. So somehow, y'all know how alarms work. They have some kind of alarm where it's hooked to their house that they live in. Okay. And somehow Kelsey put this alarm, I guess, to let them know that it's, some stuff is going on here. So this person is telling me that Kurt and Rasheeda arrived before the police. Now, I don't know at what point T Hood would have gotten hit. So I'm assuming maybe he hadn't got shot yet. Okay. So this person is saying Kelsey did not set him up. It doesn't seem like she did, even based on the conversation where you hear her on the phone. I don't think it was a setup situation. I mean, that I think that's just something people just made up. But they say it was a domestic dispute between Kai and T Hood. Now I know, we're so used to hearing about domestic disputes, and we think that it's a female. Now I don't know if something had happened between Kelsey and T Hood that day or in that same amount of time, but they're saying that the fight was between Kai and T Hood, which makes it kind of make a little bit more sense here. Because I don't know if you guys have heard this, but I'm going to jump a little bit ahead. They have not completed the investigation. They are still investigating, which should kind of tell y'all something, that they're still looking at stuff and trying to figure out what actually happened. But at this point, it seems like even from this report, they have said it looks like a case of self-defense. Now, they have not concluded their investigation, which means that they're still doing whatever it is the police do when they collect evidence. But it makes sense then why we are hearing this, what am I trying to say? I can't even remember the word. Lord, I done lost my train of thought. So it seems like the reason why we're hearing that this is a case of self-defense is because if I have a fight with somebody in my house, you know what I mean? And depending on how much bad they whooping my ass, you know what I mean? And I got to protect myself. So the thing too, I'm going to get into with this police report, it gives us some information, but this is a clear indication that they are still investigating this, because they left a lot of stuff off, but they told us something, but they left off a lot of specific information. So I was like, wait a minute. So it's a lot of information here, but they left off a lot. So let's kind of get into the report. Let's get into the report. Now, keep in mind, y'all, where I told y'all, they said that this was a domestic situation. Domestic and family violence is it could be kind of similar. But in this report is dated August 8th, 2025, and it says 1858. What is that? Is that about 7:58 p.m.? I think so. I think it is. So they have it classified as no family violence, which I'm like, why does it say no? But whatever. So they list the address. It says, was a gun involved? They say yes. And also, I'm going to jump ahead and tell y'all this too. you're reading a lot of stuff on the blogs. All of the information that's in the report has been in the report. Like now they're saying, oh, Kai did it. The police knew Kai did it from day one. So just so y'all know, and that's kind of what I was saying in my previous video when people were saying, well, what about the other brother? And I'm like, well, what the other brother really have to do with it? So he's not hiding. And I said that in my last video. I think people are probably mistaking I'm staying out of the way with I'm hiding, because I don't understand why Kai wouldn't be staying out of the way. I don't think it's a situation as if he's hiding or if he's hiding from police, or maybe a situation he's staying out of the way because, what just happened, people could be trying to look for him to do something to him. So maybe that is what he's doing. If that's what you call hiding out, he probably is, but there is no warrant for his arrest. The police is not looking for him. Now, they have this labeled as it wasn't there. It was no gang related, use of force, no. So they just got a lot of stuff as no with regards to, even y'all. This is another thing that they say on here. I thought maybe it was a surveillance camera. They said there was nothing caught on camera, no surveillance. It says, will the victim prosecute? They say yes. Let's see. It says, I'm just trying to cut through all of this stuff that they have on here. Now, they say this is a murder. I think it says it says it. I mean, this is kind of distorted, but it says that it happened at their home. There was a firearm involved, which we already know. Yeah, some of this, and that's what I'm saying, y'all. With the police report, I noticed that some stuff on here is blank, and I think it's intentional. So they have the suspect, and that's what I want y'all to understand. This report is from August 8th. August 8th, they have Kai's name on here. Frost Kai Rasheed is who they have as the suspect. So they have his information on there. Obviously, he would have talked to the detectives. I don't have that information. That will be a part of the file or whatever they decide to do with it. Now, are you guys liking the video? Make sure you guys are liking the video, please. Let me check the likes, because y'all be not liking the video, and I really need y'all to like the video. All right. Are you guys liking the video? Let me make sure here. Let's see. Okay, y'all doing good. I appreciate it. All right, so they have his name here. What else? They have him at 24. They have his address as the address that obviously this, murder took place. Now they have wait a minute. Okay, then they have the victim. Obviously, they list the victim as Mr. Hood. Okay, now it says he was taken to the hospital, Piedmont Eastside Medical Center. And a lot of this is blank. And I'm just like, okay, they left a lot of this blank. Now, this is something very interesting, and I noticed this. There is a witness on here. I'm not going to tell the person's name, but there is a witness on here, which would mean the witness spoke to the police. The witness is not Kelsey. So just so y'all understand, there's another person on here. I'm not going to say the person's name, but there is a witness on here. There's a witness on here. And to be a witness, obviously you would have had to have been there to see what happened. The witness is not Kelsey. So just so y'all know, obviously the witness would have gave their statement and they would have said what happened. So this person is on here as a witness. Now, the police say on August 8th, 2025, I responded to a domestic dispute located at the address in Snellville, Georgia. A person was determined to be shot. He was treated on the scene and taken to the hospital for care. the scene was turned over to the detectives. Now, remember, y'all, people were saying something about they cleaned up the scene. They couldn't have cleaned up the scene. The scene was turned over to detectives. If somebody cleaned up the scene, that's a whole nother crime. So it was turned over, they say, to detectives. So now, the reason why I'm telling y'all, and I think they are even saying that they're still investigating it, because they did give a police report, but it was very, very, very blank. Now, it says the investigation into, and they're still investigating. The investigation into the death of Tevin Hood remains active and ongoing. They're still investigating it. So this isn't finalized. Kai could still be charged. He could still be charged, because they're saying this investigation it's open and it remains active. It says the shooter remained on the scene at the time of the incident. Now, I know it was a lot of stuff saying that, they was looking for him, they couldn't find him. This says the shooter remained on scene, at the time of the incident. And both the shooter and witnesses continue to cooperate with the investigators. So that's important to know that, there were witnesses, and in all honesty, with the police report that I just read, they list one witness. The witness that they list is not their children. I've never even heard of this person. So they said that, these people are continuing to cooperate with the investigators. It says preliminary information indicates that a domestic disturbance occurred at the residence, resulting in a female victim sustaining physical injuries. Who do y'all think the female victim was? Keep in mind, Kai powed him, but it says in this report that that the domestic disturbance at the residence resulted in a female sustaining physical injuries. I have no idea who the female was. The shooter who arrived, listen to this, y'all. The shooter who arrived at the residence after the physical altercation had taken place separated himself from the residence before the shooting occurred. Did y'all hear that? So Kai, based on this report, did arrive at the residence after a physical altercation had taken place. So based on this report, he had been into a fight with somebody at this residence, and Kai came after the physical altercation had already taken place. That's what this report says. Who was he fighting? I have no idea. But this is what this says. But it also says he arrives at a residence after the people had been in a fight. Somebody had been in a fight. T. Hood had been in a fight with somebody at the residence. It said, this report has said that Kai separated himself. So it seems like what the report is saying, although something had happened at the residence, it doesn't, from what this is saying, is that he came there trying to let's get it going. So this report says he separated himself from whatever was going on at the residence. It said before this, the shooting occurred, is what it said. They're not telling us exactly what happened, who the person was that was in a physical altercation. They're not telling us any of that. And probably, more than likely, it's because it's still an ongoing investigation. Generally, if they're still investigating something, a lot of times they won't give us every single detail. Somebody is sending me something. So they won't give us every single detail. Currently, there is no evidence to suggest the involvement of any additional parties beyond those residing in the home. So I know people were saying that, it was, I don't know, but this report says currently there is no evidence to suggest the involvement of additional parties beyond those residing in the home. Although the investigation is still ongoing and additional information will be released when it becomes available, this case is being investigated as a possible self-defense shooting. Did y'all hear that? So they said at this point, unless some information is provided that suggests something different, this case is being investigated as a possible self-defense. Now, this information was more than likely relayed to the family, and I'm going to tell you why. There was information put out on social media, and what the information was stating is, how could it be, self-defense if he was shot in the back? I cannot confirm where he was, where he was shot at, because this information that they provided doesn't tell us that. So I couldn't even confirm where the wounds were. Yeah, I wouldn't even be able to confirm that, but this makes sense because the information, again, that I saw of the individuals that were saying that it was his family, they were saying, well, how could this be self-defense? Well, it looks like, based on what the police are saying, is that's what it looks like today. Now, tomorrow, they could get some more information, but I don't know. And just so y'all, are aware, people do have a right to protect themselves, but self-defense works one way. Like if you are in a, confrontation with somebody, you have a right to defend yourself. But self-defense isn't if you are in a, you having a fight with somebody and the fights, it done died down and now you go back, and try to get your lick back. That's not self-defense. I don't know how this went. The information that somebody sent me earlier, it almost made it seem like they, had a fight and he had gotten the best of Kai. And then at some point, Kai was like, I'm getting my leg back. So I don't know where or how that went down. But again, they're saying that it's self-defense. Okay. It says the Gwinnett County Police Department is investigating a shooting at the residence that resulted in the death of one man at approximately 7:00 p.m. Officers assigned to the South Precinct were dispatched to a residence and it gives the address. The caller reported that a dispute took place at the residence and somebody was shot. Okay. When officers arrived at the incident location, they located a man who was shot and rendered aid. Gwinnett County Fire Rescue transported the man to a local area hospital where he ultimately passed away due to the injuries that he sustained. One person was detained. Y'all do know what detained mean. So, I know people were saying that, he ran off. The police was looking for him. But this report said he was detained. And that's why I said I had to get the police report, because the stuff I was hearing online didn't make sense. I mean, they was making it seem like he was a, runaway criminal and the police was looking for him. But he, in fact, was detained at the scene, which is normal protocol when somebody is killed. I mean, and even if the person wasn't killed, this is normal protocol if somebody is hurt or injured. Yeah, I don't know about that information saying that they didn't call the police on time. I mean, the police are not stupid. I mean, keep in mind, They have to get an autopsy on the body. If he had been sitting there for hours, they would have been able to determine that. So I don't know anything about that. And that is why I said I wanted to get the police report, because people can say a lot of stuff, but you don't know what's true or what's false. So none of this in this report says any of that. I would have thought if there was any type of foul play, if not, I mean, I'm sure they would have figured it out. I mean, these people do this all the time. I'm sure they would know, if somebody was just there for hours after, having this happen. So I can only go on what this report says, and it don't say that. Again, if some more information comes through and they can verify it, I'm sure they will, charge somebody. But they said one person was detained at the scene, at the location, and was in process of being interviewed by the detective. So it's not like the police came and left and said, okay, y'all have a good day. We're going to take this person to the hospital. They came, they detained the person, which was Kai, at the location. He had to talk to the detectives and they let him go. They don't care about no love and hip hop. I mean, this is what it says. It also says that if anybody has some information, please contact, and they give the information. But it says that they talked to him, they interviewed him. It says this case is being investigated as a homicide. The motive for the shooting is still under investigation. The identity of the victim will be released following next to kin notification. There is no active threat to the public. What y'all saying in the chat? So do you think it was Kelsey who had the physical altercation? So now I'm going to put on my alleged badge. So to be honest, I don't know at this point, because somebody contacted me and said that there was nothing going on with Kelsey, that him and Kelsey had not been into any type of fight or anything, and that it was Kai. But in this report, it says that there was an altercation with a female. So I'm not sure who the female was. I mean, this is what the report says. The report says that there had been an altercation with a female. Now, someone else contacted me and said that there was, that there possibly was something going on with him and Kelsey. So it's like, what really happened? So, to be honest, what I do know is the investigation is still open. So it seems like for some reason they don't feel like they're going to close it at this point. So it leads me to believe, what information are they investigating? What information are they uncovering? I'm going to be honest with you. And this is just the law all day. Like, you have the right to, protect yourself, especially where you live. But I don't know, it can become questionable when you have a pow and you shoot somebody more than once. Now that can be a problem, because when defending yourself, you have a right to defend yourself, but you can one time, and the person, and even let's say you did twice, but if you did it multiple times, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how that is. I don't know what that to me, it don't seem like self-defense, because you don't need to strike somebody more than one or two times to stop them. I'm just saying that seems like something else. But then again, we don't know how many times he was actually okay. So I said I wanted to probably reach out and get the autopsy report, because this ain't worth the paper it was written on. Why don't the other brothers stay in Rasheeda's guest house? I have no idea. I don't know what them people do with their house. Somebody said you also have the right to remain silent, and that's what the gal should should do. I think with Kelsey, she's definitely in her emotions. And I think she's probably upset because people saying she set it up. So I can kind of understand why she is like, look, I ain't set nothing up. So I can understand because it seems like that the issue may have been with her brother and not with her. So she's probably catching the backlash like, hey, wait a minute, that's not what happened. Which it would make more sense to not speak on anything, but I get it. People want to, speak their piece. People want to speak their piece. And I get it. And I just wanted to get the report to see what's in a report because there's so much stuff out here. And this is a serious situation. Like somebody really lost their life. I really don't want to be on here just saying whatever. I believe her brother heard the message and called the other brother since he stays there. Well, here's the deal. The other brother has absolutely nothing to do with this. The other brother has absolutely nothing to do with this. So just so you know, I know, the narrative was both of the brothers. The other brother don't have nothing to do with this. I mean, he got shot by Kai. So he didn't have nothing to do with this. More so, to be a brother, if your brother called you, you're going to go and see what's up. That don't necessarily mean that he was, doing anything or trying to, hurt somebody. His sisters may be trying to spin narrative to the public. I imagine it's hard to accept no one being held responsible. Absolutely. For your brother's death. It's sad. It is sad. And that's why I said I wanted to actually get the documents because I don't want to get into that because we know, in situations where you lost your relative, of course you are mad and you don't want to hear it. Like, who wants to hear that? Nobody wants to hear it. So I get it. And that is the prime example why I said I wanted to get the police reports, because when I was starting to read this stuff, I said, this doesn't make sense. Like, y'all saying he a fugitive, he's on the run. And then both of them, got together and, Kelsey, they all set it up. I'm like, I need to get the police report. Did I read that message? I think I read that one already. Now that you said that it's a lot of rumors, I don't believe, because first it was said he was hit 5 times. Exactly. Now you see what I'm saying. And that is why I got the police report, because I'm like, this stuff ain't making sense. And listen, one thing I'm going to tell y'all again, one thing about Georgia is they will lock you up for stuff you didn't do. So you could imagine if you did something, they're going to lock you up. So the stuff that I was seeing online was, he was, hit 5 times and, it was in his back. And I'm just like, this don't make sense. So I just wanted to see what the police report says. I was accused of setting my baby daddy up. I feel her about wanting to say something. I wish she wouldn't, because they will flip that ish on you in a heartbeat. Yeah. Yes, Toya. So Kai does live there. Kai and Kelsey does live there. Now, I know the family was saying that T Hood lived there. And I was thinking of it like this. I mean, if your boyfriend is there all the time, people may think he lives there. But if you read the police report, they actually give a whole nother address for T Hood. So really, to live with somebody, you got your mail coming there. The address on your driver's license is connected to that house. So his wasn't like that, because they actually give an address for him and it's not that address. So they're essentially saying he did not legally live there. He probably spent the night there a lot of times, but they're saying he did not live there. You said Kai said he was shot before this happened. You said Kai said it. Well, I don't know about Kai or if he said that, but there was information online that said T Hood had gotten shot. I did read that. Right. You said Kelsey's audio didn't help. But now that I read y'all the police report, I better understand Kelsey's audio, which I feel like she really shouldn't have done. I don't think Kelsey wants to make it seem like she had something to do with it, because based on what I was told by a separate person, not on this report, is that Kelsey was trying to stop them from fighting. And think about it. You're trying to stop somebody from fighting, and now the world is saying you set them up. So she's probably like, wait a minute. But it did in fact make it worse, because it made it seem like I told the police they just didn't arrest them. But it's not that they didn't arrest them. Based on the evidence that they have, they're saying that it was self-defense. Right. And Tiffany, oh, I think I read yours already. So that's what they're saying. They're saying it was self-defense, and they're saying that they're still investigating. You said, wait a minute. So the brother just sat there and did nothing during the altercation, and Kelsey had to call the other brother. You said, so the brother just sat there and did nothing during the altercation, and Kelsey had to call I don't understand your question. What I read was, so there were two things going on. Somebody contacted me and said Kai and T Hood got into a fight. That is what someone contacted me and said. Now, that was when I said alleged, because I don't know if that's true. They also said Kelsey tried to break it up. There was no other brother there. It was just Kelsey, her brother, and in a report there says that there was a female witness, but I don't know what other brother you're talking about. Then also, I'm just trying to, I had to probably read this because I'm getting confused myself, because it's two different things going on. Somebody contacted me and said that, let me just read it. Somebody contacted me and said that Kelsey was trying to break up Kai and T Hood from fighting. She did not want to call the police because she just didn't want to call them, didn't want the police there, didn't want to call them. So she ended up calling the other brother, not to come over there and do nothing to T Hood, but to stop these two grown men from fighting. What woman can stop two men from fighting? She couldn't do it. So she called her brother like, hey, come help me. He arrived. But what this person is saying, that after he arrived, I don't know how long they was fighting, or maybe they fought, they stopped fighting, start fighting. I don't know. But according to this person, said Kai gained some balls and pulled a gun. That is what this says. I don't know if that part is true. So the other brother wasn't there, based on what I'm being told. And in all honesty, on the police report, his name is not on there either. Yes, Tiffany, it is extremely sad situation. They may be talking about that video that's been going around with her brother outside saying, yes, and that's what I said. They are saying that Kai, when he was shooting the gun, that he grazed the brother. That's what they said. Obviously, that doesn't say that in the police report, but that's what somebody else told me. Let's see what y'all saying in the chat. So somebody has said in the chat earlier, I'm trying to find it. Did I think that he was fighting Kelsey? That's a good question. I don't know. Did I answer that already? Because I'm not sure if he was fighting Kelsey or who. But it did say a female sustained some injuries. I'm just reading y'all comments. You said, I'm trying to figure out if Kai lived there. Why was T Hood at his house? No, Kai and Kelsey lived together. So I don't think T Hood was visiting him. He would have been visiting Kelsey. Okay, I'm just reading y'all comments. Somebody said no love and hip hop for you, boo. What does that mean? Did they have kids together? I don't think so. Did they have kids together? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, this is a good one. If you fight, take the L and walk away, should not have been involved. I have to agree. But let me just tell you something. That's why you really can't fight people, because these new generations, they can't fight. That's the problem. They can't fight. All they can do is run their mouth, and they can't take an ass whooping, which means a lot of them should just sit down somewhere. They cannot take it. That's why we have people, getting, because people they don't fight no more. They just don't. And it's a scary. This is a scary world. This is a very scary world. So I want to really know, y'all, though, how many times he was actually shot. I'm very interested to know how many times. If he does not get locked up or charged for it, it's probably not going to turn out well for Rasheeda's family. It seems as if T Hood's family and friends will probably retaliate. Well, here's the deal. I don't know. Like, it seemed, you know what, in all honesty, y'all, it seemed like it's something else that we don't know, because it just seems like, because even if you watch that video where you have Kurt's other son limping, it makes sense now, because from what they're saying is that Kai was shooting the gun recklessly, but nowhere in the police report is just so vague. So I'm not sure what is going on. It just really seems like it's still a whole missing piece of this puzzle that's not being told, but they've already pretty much said that it is self-defense. So I'm just like, okay, where is the rest of the information? Like, where are the statements that was given to the detectives? But I would imagine, because they said it's an ongoing investigation, that they wouldn't actually give that to us now. Even in this police report, they tell us that he was in an altercation with a female, but we don't know who the female was. So it's still a little bit sketchy as to what actually happened. Yeah, I don't even think they like Kelsey anyway, so they gonna keep blaming her. You said they didn't like Kelsey? Okay. Good evening, everyone. It's more to this, because the mom and Kelsey were having a whole conversation. That's exactly what I'm saying. It is definitely more to this. Yeah, it's more to it. That's what I'm saying. It seems like it's something missed. Something missed. The part again that I really don't understand is, how many times was he actually shot? Where was he shot? Because from whatever this person, I mean, I'm not going to say the person's name, that reached out to me, made it seem like they had gotten into it. I had got beat up. He lost the fight. And then once the brother arrived, he started shooting. So I'm just like, huh? So it just seems like it's something missing here. Folks think toxic relationships are cute. It's never cute. It never ends well when you stick around. That's true. Fighting over who had more streams, K. Michelle or Rasheeda. Get out of here. Well, I don't know. Rasheeda is saying that she got a lot of streams, but I think people are using that TikTok. That don't really count. So it's still a lot of unanswered questions. This report looked like it just looks really crazy. It's just very blank. It doesn't really say much. It says that there was a domestic dispute. It says with the lady. Was it Kelsey? Was it another girl? I don't know. It's a bad situation. Very, very bad situation. I would not want my son in his 20s to have a gun. I would want him to grow up a little bit more, because I don't think when you're in your 20s, I don't think you need a gun, because you don't know, you don't have your emotions in check, and really with men, they develop at a much slower level. This will not be a complete file while the investigation is pending. That's what I was thinking. There will be extremely limited information placed in the public. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Thank you. I was thinking that. I said there is like this whole report is very blank. So they didn't give us much information. And that's what I was telling you. I said I really believe that they're still investigating it. And it says that they're still investigating it. So that's probably why, they give us something, but it's nothing. So it's really nothing. So it seems like they are trying to, do their investigation, and we'll just have to see. I think Kelsey has, in so many words, confirmed her and T have DV situations often. Wouldn't be surprised if it was put in Kai's head the next time he puts his hands on your sister, handle it. That's a good one. Now, okay, since you brought it out, I didn't bring it out. I was also told that exact same thing. I was told that exact same thing. I was told the exact same thing. And I was thinking that maybe Kelsey was the female. Unlawful discharge, if a weapon, etc., he just would have stayed locked up. Yeah, exactly. Everybody got a camera. That's what I said. And then I'm reading this, it's like no camera. I'm like, huh? Now you feel me? Something is not adding up. And I believe it's because they're still investigating this. Yeah, I think they're still investigating it. I agree. My son has a weapon and got one as soon as he turned 21, but nothing I can do. He was adult and not in my home. Yes, really nothing you can do. I'm going to be honest. If I had a son, I would not want my son dating a girl like Kurt's daughter. No way. She doesn't look like she has class. I'm sorry. I'm brutally honest. Okay. You just went left. But I mean, hey, I mean, so the thing with domestic situations, y'all, since we're bringing this up, if a person is in a domestic situation, a lot of times they you kind of can't make them leave. But as relatives, we get mad and we get angry because we don't want our loved one to be in that type of situation. So, was this a situation that Kelsey was in that, I don't know? Do y'all think maybe it was put in Kai's head? Listen, if this ever happened, but that's crazy because I would never tell mine to do nothing like that. Um, yeah, that's a real messed up situation. Somebody said, "Come on now, who?" Who was? I wonder if Kurt and Rasheeda's empire will fall apart now that they are receiving really bad publicity. This entire situation. Well, the thing about it, this don't really have nothing to do with Kurt and Rasheeda because I mean, these folks is grown. Like you cannot control these grown-ups. You cannot. I don't think it has much to do with them, except for obviously people gonna try to say it's, because that's just how people are. But it really don't have a whole lot to do with them. It did happen at their house, which is bad because yeah, they can be sued. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, it happened at their home. They can definitely be sued because they own that property. Down south is crazy with the gun laws, but have and you'll get 2 ounces of weed, and they will okay. And I seem to correct about Kurt's daughter. Look what happened to that boy. He's behind messing with Kurt's daughter. Correct about Kurt's daughter. Look what happened to that boy. Oh, yeah, that's kind of messed up. I've learned, y'all, I don't get in people disputes. I don't get in disputes. I remember growing up, I was the one person who nobody never messed with because they already knew. But because nobody never messed with me, I would find myself protecting people. And I'm like, I'm not finna get, no, I don't, no, I don't get in people's stuff. In that clip, is it any wonder why tempers get them in hot water? You said in that clip. Are you saying the clip from Love and Hip Hop? Yeah, but this is a messed up situation because even if he does get off. Like, what's up with them friends? Are they looking out trying to retaliate, or what is that all about? This is so messed up. This is so messed up. That's why, even as a parent, you let your kids live in your house, you need to be there finding out what's going on. Because if you live in my house, your boyfriend cannot live here. Your boyfriend cannot even spend a night. He can come over, but your boyfriend cannot stay in my house. He can't. He definitely cannot. What does this one say? Are any of their adult children doing anything productive outside of the family business? Good question. You know what I've learned? Sometimes parents will go hard based on their life. You want to give your kids a better life. And it, for some reason, don't really push them to go hard. It's like they feel like they're entitled to everything. Somebody said, "Where's Kelsey's mother?" I have no idea. Somebody said, "No, them niggas was lovers." How you know that? I don't know, girl. I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're doing anything outside of the family business. I would not be able to tell you because I don't know. I really don't. But this is a real sad situation, and I could imagine that them people gonna be trying to sue. On Love and Hip Hop, Kelsey was disrespectful and cursing her brother out after seeing that she might have hit T Hood first and her brother should not be living with her. Well, so the house is owned by Rasheeda and Kirk. So, they own the property. So essentially they letting them both live there because they own the property. Even if it is self-defense, he has to live with the fact that he killed a man. I don't wish that on nobody. Hey, I wouldn't want to be in those shoes. Okay. I wouldn't want to be in those shoes because I feel like you have a right to defend yourself if you feel like your life was going to be ended. But a fight, if you just having a fight, that's not, to me, that's not enough. Yeah, but Kelsey was cursing her brother out and cursing seemed, yeah, I know what you mean. Talisa, you're talking about at one point they had showed them on the show and they wasn't getting together. I remember they wasn't getting along or something. I remember. I remember. The law is the law. I hope he doesn't get off. You got to take accountability, especially considering what Rasheeda and Kurt's son did. He gonna have to go to the penitentiary and sit down for a while. I'm just trying to figure out, like, in all honesty, what really happened, because I get them saying that it was self-defense, but I want to know, like, was there any injuries? They did speak about a female sustaining injuries. I would like to know what those was, but again, y'all, the investigation is still ongoing, so they're not really releasing any of that. But the fact that they said it was self-defense, I'm just wondering what part are we missing, because it seems like it's a lot of information that they just haven't told us. So I would love to know that. What else y'all saying in the chat? The three siblings got in screaming matches over Frost Bistro shifts being changed around. I can only imagine how fast things went from 0 to 100, and that included their significant others. Yeah, I would imagine. I would imagine. Kelsey will end up getting a few years, and that will tear their family apart. The men will go away for decades. Rasheeda ain't gonna like that. Kelsey will have to snitch on her brothers. We don't know what we don't know. Like, what part are they not telling us? Because when you say Kelsey would need to snitch on her brothers, they already know who did it. So unless there's some other circumstances surrounding it that we don't know, I don't know what she would snitch about. Right. Okay. Let the facts play out. Innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, absolutely. My thing is this: it's two men against one. It was, so let's just kind of clear that up. It really wasn't two men against one. It was Kai. Well, keep in mind, the police report doesn't say that Kai and T Hood got into a fight. It does not say that. Someone told me that that's what happened. But they also said that Kurt's other son was not there. So it wasn't two men against one. And that's what I was saying. Like, it's so much stuff out there. We don't know what to believe. So essentially, it wasn't two men against one. And Kurt's other son wasn't involved. Like, he wasn't fighting. They don't even say that in the police report. So I think a lot of the information that they're putting out there is it's just a lot. Like, it's a lot of stuff that's not really happening. Don't read too much into what you're hearing on social media, right? Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The social media stuff is they just making it up as they go along. And that's why, like I said, I wanted to get the police report, because I said, wait a minute. I said just what you said, motor culture. I'm like, two men, they did that to him. I'm like, let me get the police report, but I don't. That's not what happened. Apparently. What else y'all saying? Maybe there was another weapon involved and we just don't know yet. We just don't have enough info to jump to any conclusions. Right. That's what I said. I'm just trying to stay with the facts. They acted like they wanted to fight about that. Somebody said I'm just reading y'all comments. Just reading the comments. I don't, and some you put in the comments, Kelsey will end up getting a few years. What did Kelsey do? I don't think, unless it's something that we don't know. Okay. Oh, okay. So the other brother was not there. Okay, now I know I'm going to not feed into social media gossip. It could be lies and hearsay. Exactly. So again, when I heard that, I was like, oh shoot, let me get the police report. No, now look, I wasn't there either. Now, I wasn't there either, but I wouldn't, feed into that, because I believe this is becoming muddier and muddier, but I don't believe that they would have let him go if everything all of these people are saying are true, saying that they left him there for hours. They cleaned up the scene. Kai was on the run. Like, I was just like, what? None of that could not be true. It could not be true. If it's a scenario where Kai was defending his sister, if you were Rasheeda, would you be okay with your stepdaughter after this? Let me just tell you something, Toya. So my kids also have, they have, half sisters and brothers by their father. And I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Step is not real. I don't care. Them, your relatives, no, because I'm going to make sure mine don't ever move in with a step or a half sister or brother, because them relationships, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nope. Absolutely not. The half and the steps. No, we ain't got time for that. No. Right. I don't even believe in that. I believe in it, but it's just different. They're not like them people did not grow up in the house with you. It'd be different. Doesn't Kelsey herself have a kid? I really don't know. If y'all know, put it in the chat, because I swear I remember her defending Kurt against Jasmine, saying she herself had a deadbeat baby daddy and that her dad went above and beyond for Cannon. I don't know. If so, maybe that's why they help her out. I don't know. I don't know if Kelsey has any children. Kelsey's been on the show a few times, but I don't really pay attention. So I would not be able to tell you. Do y'all know if Kelsey has a child or not? I hope that child wasn't there. That's just way too much. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I have no idea, but I know, Kelsey is not Rasheeda's child. Like, she has a different mother. That's not her mother. I'm just reading the chat. What are y'all saying? I think I've been doing good by reading the questions. I think I done pretty much read a lot of the questions. Let's see what y'all saying. Somebody said maybe it was behind. I don't know. You said maybe it was behind. Oops. Maybe it was behind drugs. I have no idea. Somebody said, so who's going to jail? Apparently, right now, nobody. They have classified this as a self-defense. Somebody in the chat said that I do believe she does have a daughter. Oh, thank you, Marsh. Child, you would think content creators on YouTube would at least make sure what they are reporting is true. So all people can do is throw a fact at it. Well, here's the deal. I mean, this is, and a lot of times we get on here, we can talk about, different stuff, but we talking about somebody that done died and somebody else's son who could be, in fear or fearful for his own life. So that's why I said I just want to get the police report. All of this, these people still talking about Kai on the run. And again, I mean, we're just reading honestly what somebody else is putting online, but sometimes it can cause a problem. And the only way that I know something different is because somebody reached out to me. And then again, I had already requested the police report because I was like, this don't make sense. This don't make sense. I know for a fact that the police is not letting these people run amok and just be deleting people. And so, yeah, it's so much more to the story. I mean, they've classified it as a self-defense. I don't know what we don't know. I don't know how many times he, like I said, I don't know how many times he got shot. We don't know if it's been 5, 6, or 7, but that wouldn't make sense. I don't know why that would be considered self-defense. But they did say it's still open and they said that they still investigating it. So the fact that they're still investigating it makes me think that they want to make sure that they're, not leaving something out, which is good, because they could close it and be like, hey, we're done with it. But they actually have a detective. They have a detective's name on here. They got an email. They got the case number. So this is actually, if you go to Gwinnett County government, their website, you can get this. Like this is just an attachment that they gave me. I don't know if y'all can see it, but you can get this information. If you go to Gwinnett County portal, you can request the records as well. This is all stuff that it's open record information. Lakeisha, I get it. You just want to get the police report. I hope that the police report will bring some clarity. It don't really. I mean, they don't give very much. They give a little bit, but not a whole lot of information. And I assume it's because it's still being investigated. So I've saw reports where it's closed and it's a lot more detailed, but I'm assuming this is not as detailed because they're still investigating it. She said, "So is your answer that gal not allowed around your house no more?" Absolutely. So T Hood's daughter is without her dad, and if Kelsey gets charged and convicted, her kid won't have her mom for who knows how long. And even if she isn't, how will she provide for her? I mean, I don't know if Kelsey did anything. I mean, keep in mind the police report said it was a dispute that broke out and a female had been injured. So was Kelsey injured? I mean, I don't know. Judging from what they're saying in this police report is that it's self-defense. That's pretty much what they're saying. We don't know if somebody got what happened to these people. We don't know when the police got there what had been done to them. But they made the determination that it was self-defense. We don't know. Like we don't know what happened to Kelsey before the police got there or whoever. We don't know. But as I said earlier, where somebody put it in the chat, they said that they heard that it was some domestic stuff going on. And I said, okay, I heard that too. I just didn't say it, but yeah, I did hear that. Somebody said GA police deaf not letting the color folk run. Well, here's the deal. Like, I mean, you said color folk. Just so you know, the color folks are the ones that lock the color folk up. Just so you know. But in this area that this happened, it is very diverse. It's Gwinnett, so it's not like, it's some racist person that's just trying to. No, that's not happening. But yeah, the black folks be locking the black folks up. Hello, Fonnie Willis. So yeah, but I think it's more to it. It is obviously something going on here. But yeah, I don't envy the life of any of these celebs, and socialize the Frosts will suffer greatly behind this entire ordeal. Okay, then. Chances are, if the police let him go, it's probably a done deal. Right. Now you feel me? If the police let him go, it's probably a done deal because they be locking people up for shit they didn't do. So I think that possibly they had a whole bunch of information, and whatever that information suggests, obviously, T Hood had his family, and they not gonna be happy with this. I mean, as we can see from the stuff that's been being said online, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we just reading the report. I thought if Kelsey tried to break them up, but couldn't, maybe she was injured in the scuffle, which is why she could. That could have happened, Cassie. That could have happened because the report never said who injured the female. She could have gotten injured. And I don't know if y'all ever saw two male fight. Listen, you can't break them up. That very well could have happened. The whole situation is unfortunate. It's a back alley hot. Yeah, gutters. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. On one hand, I understand defending his sister. On the other hand, I never put my family in that situation to begin with, and I speak from experience. It's best. Listen, it's best to go and call the police. It's best to go and call the police because a lot of times you try to help your family and you get your ass in trouble, and your family is saying what Kelsey's saying. I don't know what happened. I don't know why the police didn't arrest him. It's best to just call the police, like serious, because now you get yourself in a situation that you have to explain yourself for. And I understand that's your sister or whatever, but we have to make better decisions with the people that we decide to be in relationships with. Nobody can force anybody to do anything. Some people just like these type of relationships, and as your family member, I guess you just got to let them, because you're going to ruin your life. You're going to ruin your life. I don't know, but they said it was self-defense. That's what they said. They said right here. What page was it? What page? It says, not that. Let me find the page. But it said that this is a case of self-defense. Let me get the other one. But it says it. So I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, it says currently there is no evidence to suggest the involvement of additional parties beyond those residing in the home. Although the investigation is still ongoing and additional information will be released when it comes available, this case is being investigated as a possible self-defense shooting. That's what they said. They said it's self-defense. I mean, if they get more information and it suggests something else, maybe, I don't know. Meaning, if a suspect was on the scene, they wasn't just letting them go without so much as a conversation. And then you have to understand, these police, I mean, they do this all the time. So they are familiar with this. Not only the police, he spoke with the detectives. How many detectives you know that's not gonna lock you up and you done unalive somebody? What's the evidence? What was the evidence like? Like, what was the evidence that this detective said, okay, we just gonna let him go and we're gonna process this as a self-defense? He didn't go to jail. I mean, the detectives could have said, okay, I'm gonna lock you up and let me review the evidence. They didn't lock him up. I mean, they could have did that. That's probably what Fonnie Willis would have did. I'm just saying, I mean, nothing happened. Well, I'm not gonna say nothing happened. I'm saying with regards to them letting him leave. So now it sounds like he was defending himself from the fight and grabbed his backup. So even if she called the cops in the middle of it happening, it still could have been too late. Right. Right. I mean, I don't know, but also another person told me that it was something that had been going on. So I don't know if this entire thing had been going on for hours or what it was, but then another person said that Rasheeda and Kirk got there before the police. Now, I don't know if that's another lie, and that's what I'm saying. People are just saying all sorts of things. I don't know if that's true either. But if something happened to one of mine, I hope I get there before the police get there too. Because at the end of the day, I mean, folks gonna do whatever they have to do to protect their kids. I mean, nobody is gonna not, protect, their kids. I mean, if I have a house and you living in it, yes, I'm on my way. So he beat the sister and the brother was trying to help, got beat up and he started busting. I don't know. So in the police report, it only states that a female got injured as a result of a domestic dispute. Now, keep in mind, we can try to be like, okay, this is what it means. It's not really telling us everything, but somebody put in the chat, what if the Kurt, why am I saying Kurt? What if the Kai and T Hood situation where they had gotten into an altercation? What if when Kelsey was trying to break it up, she got hurt that way? So it doesn't really tell us how this person got hurt. It doesn't even tell us that the female was Kelsey. It just says a female. So if that makes sense, they're not really telling us everything. But again, it says it's an ongoing investigation. So maybe that's why they're not telling us. Georgia is a stand your ground state. I wonder if the siblings don't get charged or convicted of murder, Tia's family could sue the Frost with a wrongful death lawsuit. Well, so okay, let's think about that for a minute. Now, I'm not a lawyer at all, but I mean, I do know some stuff. So Frost and Rasheeda had nothing to do with this. Now, unless they got some evidence that we don't know about, okay, if they had some. But one thing they would have is that it occurred at their house. So that's negligence, if that makes sense. So when I thought about this before, I was like, well, Kurt and Rasheeda, they don't got nothing to do with this. Those Kai is grown. That's an adult. But when I thought about it, I said, you know what? It happened at their home. So that's negligence. So they actually can sue them because it happened at a house that they own. You said, could this be considered stand your ground? Well, based on a police report, they said it's self-defense. So I don't know the terminology in terms of self-defense and stand your ground. Is it the same thing? It doesn't say anywhere in this report that T Hood had a weapon. And I'm just wondering if he did have one, would they tell us? Because they said this is an open investigation. Again, they not really telling us everything. A woman was injured as a result of a domestic dispute. They didn't really tell us if T Hood had put hands on a woman or, possibly the lady had got injured trying to break up the fight between Kai and T Hood. So they're not telling us a whole lot here. I believe it's more to it than what they are saying. The young man just got shot recently. Yeah, it definitely is more to it. It's definitely more to it. And I did hear that he had gotten shot recently and was recovering. Somebody had showed me some pictures or something. I guess he was in the hospital. The police report just stated that Kai left before the fight and arrived after the fight. I'm not sure what you mean. No, what the police report stated is that Kai arrived after the domestic dispute was already happening. The police report never said that Kai left. The police report said when Kai arrived that the domestic dispute had already started. It also said that Kai separated himself. Separating himself from the dispute don't say that he left. To separate yourself, you could have went outside, you could have went upstairs. So whatever was going on, it says that he separated himself. It didn't say that he left. I'm just reading y'all comments. I'm such a cop caller. At one time, I used to handle things on my own until I almost caught a 820. What's a 820? What's that? And then I said, no, that's okay. I'll forever call the police. Girl, I'm calling the police because let me tell you something. They're going to call them on you. I'm calling them first. Listen, please. I'm definitely calling the police. When they use the term detained instead of arrested, I knew they were going, yeah, that's a difference. Detained, arrested. He was detained. And that should probably indicate that it's some evidence that they had. Somebody said separated and went and got, lovely red. That could have happened. You could be right. You could be right. Let me read that part again because somebody, let me read that part again because somebody thought that I said that Kai left. So let me go and get that report. All right, let me go get it and I'll read it again because I know it didn't say that, but I don't remember either. I got to read it. Where is it? He was treated on the scene. Okay, let me just find that part. But it said, I know what it said. It said he, after he had arrived at this, it was already going on. Okay, let me find it. Where? Okay. Okay, it says the investigation into the death of Tevin Hood remains active and ongoing. The shooter remained on scene at the time of the incident, and both the shooter and witnesses continue to cooperate with investigators. Preliminary information indicates that a domestic disturbance occurred at the residence, resulting in a female victim sustaining physical injuries. The shooter, which is Kai, who arrived at the residence after the physical altercation had taken place. So based on this, it says Kai arrived after some physical altercation had taken place. It says separated himself from the residence before the shooting occurred. So it makes it seem like, he kind of tried to stay out of whatever it was that was going on. What happened that, it ended up being a situation. They don't tell us. So they don't really go into what, they just tell us he separated himself and that was that. Oh, that's fine if you just joined. But if you just joined, you welcome to stay in here. But if you want to rewind it, you can do that as well. Like it does not affect us. If they're going for self-defense, it's a good chance the victim has some kind of weapon. And you know what? That's why I wanted to get the police report, Pimp Tight, because I assumed that they would tell us that. But it doesn't tell us that. So what I originally thought when I started seeing this self-defense, I said, oh, he had to have a weapon, but it doesn't tell us that. So that's what I was thinking. Another thing too, some of the stuff they're saying online is that, he was shot all of these times. Now, if a person had a weapon and they was shot however many times, that could still be self-defense, because if you are protecting yourself against somebody with a weapon, and you just gotta, you may shoot until you feel like they're not gonna be able to hurt you anymore. But then if the person doesn't have a weapon, it doesn't seem like shooting a person multiple times is self-defense. I'm just saying. Shooter versus suspect says a lot. I go to Frost Bistro every time I'm in ATL and see Kai. Never would have thought he could unlock. That's what I'm saying. I mean, we don't know these people, but I thought he was I honestly forgot his age. I'm thinking he was still a little young kid, but we don't know what happened. He could have beat that boy senseless. We don't know. Well, T Hood has a history of violence and rage, they said. I don't think Kai does. Listen, that's what I'm saying. I mean, what if look, we wasn't there. But I don't know. Again, the police decided to make this a self-defense, So for some reason or another, they decided that this was self-defense. You said Kai leaves, then comes back to get at T Hood. That can explain the female altercation. Okay. Everyone coming in, we are just chopping it up and talking. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Please rewind it. Yes, if you want to rewind it, because when I first, came in, we kind of read everything, but I'm just kind of like reading the comments and we're just talking. But I read the full report, pretty much what they gave us. And y'all feel free to go watch that or rewind it. Well, Shannon, it has been, they declared it as a self-defense. So this is what they're saying it is. I'm not saying that they can't change it, but based on what they're saying, they said this is a self-defense, but it's not closed. So they said it's open, and they, list the number or whatever. If you have any information, to call this number. They had camera footage at the house. That's what I said. But of course, with this police report, because I thought I'm going to get this police report and it's going to give me all of this information. It says right here, let me see if I can find it for y'all. It says surveillance, none. So I don't know. Again, this is, they're still investigating it. I guess they don't want to tell us what really is going on. But I would assume, why wouldn't they have a Ring camera? Everybody have a damn Ring camera. LOL, yes, I have you on rewind on the TV and live on my phone. Okay. Val, why you keep saying that? Val, you are on one. I do not know, Val. I do not know. Maybe now the maybe Hood had a weapon theory makes sense. Well, that's what I was thinking, but this damn police report don't tell me much. But I can say this: if he got off by shooting him multiple times, I would thought maybe he had a weapon, because that would make sense. If real justice don't get him, street justice will. Ooh. I mean, but what if he had a gun though? I mean, I don't know. But the shots in the back poses questions for me, because now that's self-defense. And we don't even know, like, if he was really shot in the back. And that's what I was saying. It doesn't tell me on this police report where those shots were. And I said, maybe I got to reach out and get the autopsy report then. Why aren't they looking at the fact he left after the fight and came back? Well, it doesn't say, and I don't want y'all to leave here and start putting more, fake information out there. The police report does not say that Kai left. It doesn't say that, just so y'all know. It said he separated himself. Now, if it wanted to say he left, it should have said left. It said he separated himself. That's what it said. It said he separated himself. Ooh, what y'all talking about? The fact that T Hood was still recovering after being shot before, what kind of life are you living where you keep getting shot? Oh no, y'all. The supreme highlight of my week is grocery shopping. I don't know. The life that these younger people live is just one that, listen, I don't know. I don't know. Why are these folks getting their info from? Well, I got mine from the police department because I just wanted to see what was in there. But then you have to understand, the family, I'm sure they are probably in communication, especially his mother. I'm sure his mother would be in communication with the police department and, would be providing them more information. I have no idea. Once he got caught, he shit, dude, embarrassed. You said you aren't the one that you aren't the only one that said that. Which part, Sonia? Sonia, I don't know. You said you aren't the only one that said that. Which part? Which part? I'm trying to see what Sonia was saying. Yeah, that's why I stay away from Atlanta. Like, I don't look, I stay in my bubble. Listen, all of this foolery, I don't have time for it. I like peace. About a fight between, okay, then. So somebody else said that too. Okay. Right, which would make sense now, self-defense. I'm in a fight, you got the best of me. I don't know if T Hood had a weapon. It doesn't tell us that. It don't say that. If you are not about that life, Kai, he should not have had a gun. The Frost family needs a reality check. Information is clear. The police report is a better source. Got mine off hearsay. What you say? Got mine off hearsay. Yeah, so listen. We live in a day and time where, a gun should be used to protect you. Like, let's say somebody breaking your house, things like that. But people use it for a mad, you whooped my ass, I couldn't take it. Yeah, we live in a very different world. We live in a very, very different world. Yeah. Yeah, that's what somebody told me too. That's what somebody told me. And we live in a world where people can't take ass whoopings. They can't. But we don't know either to what extent. Does this make sense? Because I mean, it makes it a little bit hard though. That is Kai's house. That's his parents' house. He lived there. So I don't know if that's okay to be coming in somebody's house whooping their ass. Like we are not in the street. So you know what I mean? That can go bad too because that ain't gonna work. You cannot come to somebody's house and whoop on them either. Come on now, that although it's his parents' house, it is his house. So what is I got a meeting or something? What they talking about? All right. You don't have to be about that life to own a gun. He really could have been protecting his home. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could have been. That's what I'm saying. We don't know what the injuries was because keep in mind, y'all, the police did not press charges against him. So they saw something that we don't know about. As someone who has took off on both of my brother-in-laws over my sisters. I get it. And my sisters always took the side of their man. Sad but true. Oh, really? As a person, as someone who has took off on my brothers, yeah, yes, women are very emotional. Stay out of it. Stay out of it. I don't even live in GA, but they shouldn't sweep it under the rug. I pray every day that our young people would stop banging each other, put the guns down, right? Yeah, I'm not. We live in a whole different world. People are afraid to get their ass whooped. My crime research says Kai and T Hood got into Maine after Kai and Kelsey were disagreeing previously happened. T Hood got him and Kai left and came back with balls as someone else. Right. So I was reading two things. Someone contacted me um and said that pretty much that Kelsey did not have anything to do with this, setting him up, that they actually had a fight. And the person said that T Hood whooped him. He said T Hood whooped him. Now I don't know, how bad or what, but they did say that T Hood whooped him, said Kelsey could not get them from fighting, couldn't stop it. I mean, which I understand that Kelsey called the brother to, come over and help break the fight up. She also, I guess they got some kind of alarm to let Rasheeda, and this is allegedly, to let Rasheeda and Kirk know that, it's the situation down there. And after the brother came to, help them stop this fight. And they said once the brother showed up, Kai got balls now and he just started popping, just that's what the person told me. Kai is 24. He shouldn't been staying with Kelsey. Why you to Lisa, what you said, you keep saying that Kai is 24. He shouldn't been staying with Kelsey. So he's not staying with Kelsey. That is their parents' house that they own. I don't know if you've ever saw the house, but it's not a little house. So it is definitely enough room for Kelsey and Kai and probably a couple more people. So he's not staying with Kelsey. It's a house that they have together. Saying with Kelsey messy ass, they didn't even get along. That was Kelsey's man. Let her deal with it. And where's the camera footage? I'm sure they have camera footage. They just not letting us see it. I'm positive that they have camera footage. They have to. Everybody has a Ring camera. Like, you don't even have to have money to have a Ring camera. Everybody has one. Kai left the house or left to go to his room to get that thing. To get that thing. And I don't know if you guys heard anything. I think y'all put it in the chat with regards to what y'all said y'all was hearing about whatever was going on, between him and Kelsey. I don't know if y'all heard about that, because I was also told that I guess they was fighting at times or something like that. So yeah, that's what I was told as well. If a dude put his hands on my sister, I will take action. To what extent, I'm not sure. Well, putting his hands on your sister is one thing, but if your sister is going to continue to stay in a relationship with him, yeah, I don't know if I would want to be involved, because what tends to happen is the other person will get in trouble and then the sister will be right back with him. You just have to be very careful with that. You have to be very careful with that, because people have to leave relationships when they are ready. They have to leave these relationships when they're ready and when they want to. Even if it's not a good relationship, people leave these relationships when they want. They already told us when they let them go. Did it happen inside or outside of the home? A lot of people don't have interior cameras. Now, that's a good one. I'm glad you said that. Based on the report, this happened inside the home. That's a good one. You're right. I didn't even think about that. That's a good one. They said it happened inside the home. They said when they came, where they found them inside the home. That's a good one. You're right. I didn't even think about that. In the movie Friday, Craig father told him, "You win some and you lose some, but you live to fight another day." Yeah, they don't think like that these days. And you think you're a man with a G in your hand, don't you? That's not the way, son. I'm just wondering, what was the extent of his injuries? Because we don't know. Like, we really don't know if Kai was hurt or what actually happened. So we don't know. But again, I'm really confident in these. Well, I shouldn't say I'm confident because I'm really not confident in nobody but myself. But I feel like the police would have charged him if they would have thought that there was enough evidence because they have witnesses. And the witness again is not Kelsey. Like, Kelsey's name is not on here. That's a whole different person. So, and Pimp Action said, "I'm gonna take action every time unless she tells me she likes getting hit." So, a girl that continues to let her boyfriend beat her up, I mean, I don't know. I've just learned the only people that I'm intervening in their stuff is my kids. I'm not intervening in nobody. You could be my sister, my mother too. I'm gonna intervene in her, but I don't intervene in people's stuff. I just don't, because people will be back in those same situations, and you will be in jail. It can be my sister, my brother. I don't intervene. It has to be my mother or one of my children. I'm not intervening. I'm not going to jail for nobody. I'm glad I decided to put cameras in and outside my house to catch everything right. You need them inside and outside. Keisha, can you go over the witness statement again? Okay, I can read it. Well, okay. So with the witness, what I didn't tell you all is the witness name. So they give on here, it says witness, other persons, one, and they give a name. Now, I'm not going to go putting this person name out here because when I read the name, I don't know who this person is. Like, it's not like a celebrity. It's not like Rasheeda or Kurt's kid. So it lists a person. I can say this. She lives in Conyers, Georgia, and that's it. They say she weighed 119 pounds. She 25. She a female. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say. It doesn't really say. So because it's an ongoing investigation, they don't show her statement. So a police report is something for, let's say when you call the police come out, they take a statement. Now, because somebody was obviously killed, they're going to sit down with each one of those witnesses, and they're going to either have them type a statement or they're going to record it. They didn't give me that. So this is strictly the police report. This is not the in detail of what those witnesses said. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, they're not going to give us that until the case is closed. Exactly, Sonia. And T Hood sister said he was, shot 5 times in the back. I'm sure she knows what she's talking about. This is really giving cover up and money. It's sad. Yeah, I heard that too. And I was hoping that maybe it would say this in the police report, but unfortunately, the police report doesn't even say anything about how many times he was shot. So I don't know. I said that I'm going to probably see if I can get the autopsy report. So I answered your question. The witness statement is just the name. It doesn't tell me what that person says. What else y'all said? Talisa, it seems like if Hood had a weapon, they definitely would have said that. At this point, it's given. Oh, I read that already. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Okay, let me see if I got some more other comments. Have the autopsy come back? So that's a good question. So this happened when? On Friday. Today is Wednesday. This is what I think. And I could be wrong. I don't know nothing about an autopsy. I don't know how long they take. I don't know. So I'm thinking that possibly they're waiting for the autopsy. They're closing up these loose ends, and then they'll probably make the determination if they have new evidence, if there is something that they can charge with. Because that's a good question that you said. Have the autopsy come back, because keep in mind they're going to have to conduct the autopsy to, well, we know, he was shot, but they want to be certain as to where he was actually shot and all of that. So I don't think that is come back, but I'm going to reach out and see, because I want to know too. I don't think Kurt's son saw the movie Friday, because he would have known a pow pow ain't the answer. You win some, you lose some. He should have took the L. Keela said, what happened? Oh, Keela, girl, you have to rewind the video. We probably ain't gonna be able to catch you up, and we've been on here for 1 hour and 40 minutes, but you can certainly rewind it. I don't know. Was there any information on why T Hood got shot before this situation? So I don't really, to be honest, I didn't know who T Hood was. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all before this situation. So I would not be able to tell you. I don't know anything about his previous run-ins, or they said he got shot. I don't even know. I would not be able to tell you. So I ain't even gonna sit up here and lie. Somebody said that's a quick cover up. They not signed to Rock Nation. Y'all be shady. So what else are y'all thinking? What are y'all thinking? What are y'all thinking? Well, T Hood won't be putting his hands on another woman. Hell, if you can go to jail behind Mary Jane in that state, they better put you in behind losing a fight and unaliving. What is Mary Jane? Hope you can go to jail behind. I must be slow. I don't know what the hell Mary Jane is. Hell, if you can go to court, go to jail behind Mary Jane. I don't know what that is. What is Mary Jane? I don't know, y'all. What is Mary Jane? In my opinion, what alleged happened seems like built up rage. Yeah. The brother, I think, secretly hated his sister's boyfriend, allegedly, just in my peanut gallery opinion. I'm with you on that. Now, that I'm with you on that, because, I mean, think about it. If this is somebody that you see all the time and they're saying he lived there, again, I don't think that he had established that as his residence. He's probably spent the night there a lot. Um, he probably didn't like him. He probably didn't like him. I have to agree. I don't know. This is alleged. I feel like he probably don't like him either. I'm with you, motor culture, because it just seems like that. It just seems like that. It does seem like that. And I don't know if this is true. I've heard people say, just rumors saying that they had fights before. I don't know. I don't know. A lot of these women will never leave their men, and the brother end up looking stupid, just like Kyle. To Lisa. Listen, I've learned I don't get in people's stuff. I did that when I was younger, and I don't know. You better, if you want to get in some stuff, you better know how to fight. You all have to think about the level of rage and how mad and pissed off you have to be in order to go over the top and unalive. No, I understand. And that's why I'm with you on that, motor culture. I believe it too. He couldn't have liked him. Like, you couldn't have liked him. Again, we don't really know how many times, T Hood was shot, but he didn't like him. I mean, we can probably figure that out. He definitely didn't like him, because even in a situation where you're getting into a fight, the fact that you took it beyond yourself to pow pow somebody, absolutely not. He didn't like him. He absolutely did not like him. The sister said that they usually make up after a fight. So the brother may have an issue with him fighting his sister. I mean, what brother wouldn't? I'm sure he would. I'm sure any brother would have a problem with that. Which puts him in a bad situation. Like that's a bad situation to be in, because as a brother, of course you don't want nobody putting your hands on your sister, relative, or anybody. So it's a sticky situation, which would mean if that was something that was happening, absolutely not, he didn't like him. Absolutely not, he didn't like him. Absolutely. I mean, probably figure that out ourselves. It would be anything. Somebody drank the last of the Kool-Aid, PlayStation, remote control. Maybe he just told him to get the fuck out and he wouldn't. Who knows? And if they on that Mary Jane that y'all putting in the chat, and they was on that Mary Jane. Okay, I know what Mary Jane is now. I don't smoke. I don't smoke nothing. I remember back in the days when my friend would smoke, they would always give me the stuff to put up because they know I don't smoke. So they would be like, let me give it to her. She ain't gonna smoke it. No, I do not like being out of my mind. I like being, now I would drink. I don't really drink no more, but back in the days I would drink. I was a drinker. I did not smoke. Mary Jane treat Rick James. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm going to reach back out to them because I want to see if I can get some information on the autopsy to see, had the autopsy been done or what other information I can, get, because I don't feel like they gave much of anything. Absolutely stay out of domestic situation. It never ends well. Right. I'm not getting into nobody. No, because people have to make their own decisions. They have to make their own decisions. And I would imagine as a parent, knowing that, your child is in that situation, that must be very difficult. That must be very difficult, I don't know. It must be very, very difficult. But like I said, y'all, I'll keep y'all updated with whatever I find. And hopefully I can get some information on the autopsy report. Make sure you guys like the video. I will see y'all later.